Has it finally happened? Do I now have a
new favorite knife?
What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about my new Isamitsu 230mm Kiritsuke. If you don't know who Isamitsu is, this is your friendly reminder to pause and check out this video here. I got an Isamitsu custom knife right when they launched just a few years ago, and it is a beautiful Sakimaru Tsujihiki 270mm core of Shirogami 1. Now, this Kiritsuke, there are many reasons why it might be my new favorite knife. Reason 1, I first met one of the owners of Isamitsu in 2017. That was the same Japan trip where I got to meet Takayuki Shibata. I also got to meet Gauku Kanatsu, and we became very good friends ever since. And of course, when I went just a few months ago to Japan in September, I got to meet the other owner of Isamitsu, Abe Yuki. Both are fantastic human beings. I got to spend a lot of time with them, got to meet Yuki's family. There's this beautiful picture here from that September trip. And so to me, as you always know, Japanese kitchen knives is also a bit about the story. But fret not, this is one hell of a performer. That's why it might be my new favorite knife. It's not just the story, but the story is part of it. In terms of the unboxing experience, super simple experience, nice, simple black box with the Isamitsu logo. Inside, the knife was secured just enough to hold it in place, but then of course the coup de grace is the beauty within. So check out this 230mm Kiritsuke. Now before you guys say it, let me be the first one to mention it here first. Yes, it does remind me a bit of a Hakata style santoku. Now why is it called a Kiritsuke if it kind of has that Hakata tip, if the blade profile isn't completely flat? I don't know, and it doesn't really bother me because, to be honest, that is one of the reasons that I initially connected with Gauku in 2017, is he likes to do things a little bit more differently. So though when I think of a Kiritsuke, I think of a single bevel Kiritsuke that only the executive chef of some high-end Japanese restaurant has, here he's still calling it a Kiritsuke, and that's perfectly fine with me. To be honest, sometimes I feel that these knife styles are designated to knives based a lot on length, as in, I've never seen a Hakata past 180mm. So once you start to stretch that profile more and more and more, you start to lose certain properties of it, and maybe that's where they'll say something more like, let's call this a Kiritsuke because it has that K-tip, and of course maybe it has that curved spine that reminds us of a Hakata, but what are we going to call it otherwise? A Hakata Kiritsuke? So Kiritsuke it is. Now as you can see, the blade is a Kurouchi finish with Tsuchime pattern. The Tsuchime I think is super cool. Kind of reminds me of the original navigation cursor from Garmin when you were following that little arrow in your car, right? So kind of this little squiggly line like this. The core, of course, I went with one of my favorite steels. The handle is a beautiful Yamamomo. Yeah, let's say that again. Yamamomo wood. Beautiful two-tone in the classic Isamitsu pentagonal. I absolutely love the two-tone. It is so rich, it is so clean. It just looks traditional, and yet it's different, right? Because that two-tone, that line, it's a mono handle, but that line for the second color is really close to the butt, which is something that's quite uncommon to see. So in hand, the blade is very, very comfortable. I like that it has a little bit of heft to it. The balance point is actually quite a bit in front of the pinch grip. Now, in order for this to be my favorite knife, you all know that my favorite knife has always been, as far as I can remember, the Denka 210mm Gyuto. And one of the reasons for that is because when my finger chokes up in that finger notch, it is insanely comfortable. And though this does not have, of course, because it's a different brand, the Fujiwara finger notch, what I do like is that at the same time it's not completely right angled. So it has some slight curvature to it in which the finger does still fit really well. Now I'm absolutely blown away by the geometry, the profile, the look of the blade. I do wish, however, that the spine and choil was just polished just a little bit. It's something that I'll do myself with sandpaper, but just something of note. As you can see from the blade profile, it still has plenty of belly curvature, though near the heel, it still has enough straight blade path that you can cut your food without any accordions. So that brings us to the question of, how did it perform, Frankie? I can tell you it was an absolute dream on the cutting board. The cherry tomato, I barely held the knife and it just fell right through it. I ended up cutting a few other items that you'll see that have tougher skin and it just fell right through it. Ended up doing something that's a little bit maybe unkosher, as I use this on a pineapple. Why I say unkosher is because pineapple is super acidic, can do things like maybe slightly strip the Kurouchi finish because it's just highly acidic. It can lead to a very quick darkening of the core steel, or by the way, this is stainless clad, or just the cladding. But I still wanted to see how it did on a pineapple, mainly because of its size and blade profile. And let me tell you, in any instance, this knife absolutely performs. So one of the reasons it's slowly starting to become potentially the next, my top one favorite knife is I'm obsessed with the look. I'm obsessed with the geometry. I love the look of the handle. It is comfortable, and it will be even more comfortable once I kind of slightly polish the spine and finger choil, and performance was out of this world. Plus, there's my connection to Gaku and Yuki, and so guys, I hope you will enjoy this food demo. If you like this content, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really goes a long way, and otherwise, enjoy the food demo, and I'll see you in the next video.